to those 600 people we've already picked. They will be brought, they'll leave their jobs, they'll come to United to go through training. What I want everyone to understand, and the thing we talked about earlier today, is if we hit that date and strike day one comes, and we hire those 600 people, plus the 300 they're going to have to give 2-week notice on their jobs, right?
Right.
So they can get ready to come into the cycle of training. We are now going to have made, by this corporation, a commitment to 900 people. And that is a commitment we will live with. Which means that if you are one of the 900 employees currently on the pilot seniority list and you withhold your service, the likelihood is that you will probably be what they say is permanently replaced. Permanently. Because once you elect to withhold your service, then what happens is you go out on the street and you can't come back until there is a vacancy. Once you come back, yeah, you come back and you walk into the vacancy, and then as soon as there is a vacancy higher up on the list, and if you have the seniority, you go back up to it. That's correct. But if you elect to withhold your service, and you're one of the 900 people on the bottom of the seniority list, then I think you're putting much more at jeopardy than somebody that's higher up on the seniority list. Excuse me.
That's true. There's also a misunderstanding being bandied about out there of how you would be recalled to the pilot. Dick mentioned vacancies, but it's also qualified vacancies, one that you are qualified to come across. Under labor law, we do not have to honor seniority in how we recall pilots from the strike rolls. The only pilot that anyone has a right over to come back once he's indicated a willingness to come back and work is a new hire. If a 747 captain or DC-10 captain indicates he wants to come back and fly for us, if we've trained and filled those, and we've got a 727 vacancy, we don't go to him and retrain him. We go to a qualified 727 captain that's indicated he wants to come back, and we bring him back in on the line. If and when we have another vacancy that the man that is indicated who is senior, that he now wants to come back and work, the vacancy that he's qualified in has to be back. The only exception to that is if a man indicates he wants to come back and we're recalling new hires, he then will be brought back in on the bottom of this and trained for that with preference over a new hire. Let me just summarize a minute. Our new hire rates are more than competitive. The Boston contract is the best in the industry when all other things, wages, working conditions, and retirement is considered. We are going to operate the airline. We're going to do it safely. We want to do it with the experienced incumbent pilots we have, but if we have to do it another way, we will do it and get it done.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lloyd. I guess just in summary, fellas, I sure don't like where we are. I don't think the union likes where we are. I don't think any of the pilots like where we are. And what we have involved here is not egos. I don't think, it's not Roger Hall's ego or the MEC's. It's not mine. What we've got involved here is difference of opinion. What's right for this corporation? I have to weigh what's right for the corporation. Roger and your MEC have to weigh what's right for the pilot profession. And I understand their charge. I only hope and pray that you understand mine. And I hope that they're not two immutable objects coming together for conflict. As I said, we'll be at the negotiating table. We're going to work our tail off to find a negotiated solution to this problem. Boy, we're getting awful close. And I reiterate, I'm out here, and I offered myself up, in essence, in case anybody had any questions. Because I don't think it's right that you hear one side of the story. I always thought ALPA was a pretty democratic organization. What's there to be afraid of talking or hearing both sides? You're all grown men. You can make your own decisions, which you will. And I just hope, after seeing this tape, and those of you here that are nice enough to come today, that you'll make a reasoned decision. Whatever you do, do not misjudge this corporation's resolve or my personal resolve. Thank you.
This videotape has been sent directly to homes for one reason. United pilots are facing one of the biggest decisions of their lives. It's a decision that must be based on fact, not emotion. It's a decision that must be based on information from both sides, not just one side. United pilots received a booklet outlining the contract offer, the Boston offer. A few points bear repeating because there continues to be confusion. First, there are no pay cuts for incumbent pilots. Quite to the contrary, there are 2 salary increases, a 6% increase on date of signing and another 2% next year. Secondly, the company adjusted its offer to address many of the pilots' concerns. The scales merge at the captain ranks. The scope clause has been included. Pilots hired in 1979 and furloughed in training will be brought back at incumbent rates, and more. Yes, there are lower starting rates for new hires, and yes, it takes a longer time to get to maximum. However, new hire rates are a fact of life. United's 4 biggest competitors, American, Continental, People Express, and Frontier, have new hire rates for pilots. Other employee groups at United have new hire rates. Other industries have new hire rates. The trend simply cannot be ignored. For pilots, this contract is one of the best in the industry. But time is running out. Negotiations resume May 13th in Boston. The company's #1 goal is to reach a cost-competitive agreement without a strike. But in the event of a walkout, United will operate. The company has a responsibility to all of its employees, its shareholders, and its customers. The company will meet that obligation. United urges its pilots to carefully consider all the facts, to ask tough questions of the company, to ask tough questions of its union leadership, and make an informed decision. It's too important to do otherwise. This decision will affect the rest of your life.